So okay, this is a 40 watt Aqua UV clarifier. It's called their Classic series. Classic just means that they're using this standard 40 watt bulb inside here. They've got a few newer versions now. This is your transformer, and then what we've done is we've unscrewed the unions to it so we could take it out and show you what we're doing. But on this, what we want to do to get started is to handle anything inside, start your disassembly. This is called your fog cap, and it is essentially what keeps the water from getting inside your electronics. And so it's got a little compression fitting here with some rubber on it to lock that wire tight and keep the water out. So you want to undo this first. That allows this wire to turn. Okay. Now you can, what you want to do is you have a compression fitting inside on the quartz sleeve that you have to be careful not to break. So what I like to do is I'll just hold the whole unit and then turn this top piece off. And see, the wire can stay without, twisting. So I've got that off. I can unspin this without twisting the wire, and that shows the plug that goes into the light, which we'll put in right now. This is just a spacer to keep the light bulb from sliding in and out straight. It keeps it straight. But then, okay, we're going to clean it. And usually when I clean it, once we've got the electrical taken apart and the bulb is out, I'm not going to break the seal on this yet, but you have this large seal here, which should be hand tight. Raoul, give me a hand. So it's a little tighter than it should be. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Alright, so it shouldn't be that tight. You can feel it's kind of crusty. Got some salt in there. But so we'll unscrew that. That's your quartz sleeve. I'm going to set this housing down. You can see the sleeve is pretty dirty. We're going to clean it. But I'm going to go ahead and take the seal off. So we'll unscrew this top part. And there you can see the seal against the quartz sleeve. These two pieces, just squeeze this together to create a seal. Again, the reason why once you get this on, you don't want to keep adjusting this. So whenever you're servicing this, if you can help it, try not to break this seal just because you run the risk of cracking this quartz sleeve. But we're gonna take it all apart for your viewers, and then we're gonna clean everything. So we'll take all this apart. Inside, there's a little groove, same as in here, and that's where the seal rests. So I'm going to take the seal off. You can see that that seal sits in there like that, and then this comes down on the same thing and squishes it. So you want to make sure that that little ridge is clean with a towel. Make sure that all this is clean. So Raoul, you're going to clean that up. Don't use acid on anything except the glass, okay? Okay. What I'm going to do, now this quartz sleeve, generally you can't clean the inside of these quartz sleeves. There's just no real good way to do it. But this outer side, we're going to get some of these salts off of here. There's not a lot of salt, but it's pretty dirty. Just going to run this down. This is just muriatic acid. That should take off all of our salts. We'll wipe this down real good. So, like I said, you can see that this quartz sleeve is in pretty poor condition. Aqua UV does recommend that you replace these periodically. They break down from the UV radiation, but also just because of that, you're going to get this fouling from the electrical parts inside, probably degassing and messing up the inside of the glass. We're not going to replace this right now because pretty much it's just on the very ends, and I'm going to say that this is still functional and fine, but you could replace this. It looks pretty old. It's a pretty old unit. So it's clean. What we're going to do now, we'll get all our parts clean. So we'll take this, slide that down, put this seal. Now on the Aqua UV, they generally have about an inch or so of space from the top, roughly. And then this just comes up inside. And then that screws down on top. Again, we're going to tighten this down gently but firmly. Hope that there are no grains of sand in there or anything, because it'll break. So now you can feel that it's stiff on there. It's rigid. It shouldn't wiggle because this is your watertight seal for the electrical. So it doesn't wiggle. It's nice and tight. You can see up in there, nice, pretty clean. We'll take the housing. This housing has a large O-ring here to go up against here. We'll wipe that off. And so we'll put that in there. And it's going to have a little foot in the bottom, just like the Emperor UV does. It's just an anti-vibration thing, so we'll tighten that down. Now, one thing on this, a lot of these units are installed vertically like this, and the little foot that this is sliding into right now sometimes will collect sand. It'll go through the system, and so when you disassemble this, there may be a little sand that gets down into that foot. And when you're tightening this down, you'll hear it go, you'll hear that grit in there. And I've broken several of the lenses putting these things back together. Usually it's only when they're vertical. When they're installed vertical. So hand tight. Now we'll take the bulb. Again, we'll touch the ends, using the ends. And that just slides in there real careful, as straight as you can. Now don't drop it. The quartz sleeve is longer than the bulb, and it'll just fall right through, bust out the bottom. So I'm going to hold it. I'll take the Aqua UV plug. You can see it's rectangular, it's not actually square. So we'll put that on. Now the bulb can fit down inside. And then we're just going to seal it up from the weather. Tighten that down. Now that doesn't have to be super tight. Really where you have to worry about water getting in is here. This is, like I said, this is called the fog cap. You get that little rubber seal in there, and then the fog cap tightens down. Alright, so that's a full service on a 40-watt classic Aqua UV clarifier. New bulb, clean quartz sleeve. They recommend, some of these units have wiper units to keep the quartz sleeve clean. And you would do that with every service of your filter. But I believe Aqua UV, I might be misquoting this, but I believe Aqua UV recommends that you clean these quartz sleeves every month. But I can say that you pretty much only have to do it when you change the bulb, which is once a year. Now that's just me, I'm just saying that. I've done a lot of these, and you can see that even after a year, that wasn't really that dirty. That was after a full year. This is a new bulb, so it's been a full year. So they recommend you do the quartz sleeve monthly. I say do it annually. But one thing, the more you mess with this thing, the more chance you're going to have water leakage into your electronics and short it out. But all right, that's your 40 watt Aqua UV.